In this video, we're going to talk about your elemental filter on reality. Sit tight. Welcome back to another video. My name's Jen Palco. So I've talked a lot about reality before and how our perception creates our reality in a lot of my other videos. So essentially it's how our inner world responds to our outer environment. And I've talked about things like parallel timelines and vibrational frequency and how that all plays a part in our reality and what we perceive in our reality. But in this video, I'm going to discuss perception from the 5-element point of view. Now, if you haven't seen any of my videos or don't know what I'm talking about, there are 5 elements, okay? This is based on ancient Taoism. We have fire, earth, metal, water, wood, and 5 elements that are within us, within our personalities, how we move about this world. And while we have all 5 of these within us, we have 1 or 2 that are more dominant within us. And it's basically our elemental tint on the world. How we see reality versus how other people see reality can be very, very different, as we know. So I'm going to talk about it from an elemental perspective. Now, I've done a video on each element personality type, according to things like their archetype. So if you want to check those out, I'll put the links to all of those below so you can see, get a little more in depth in each of the elements, but I'm going to lump them all into one today because I'm going to talk about perception, and each element has kind of like a theme of what's important to them in life. And when I talk about your elemental type, it's your constitution, okay? It's something you're just born with. It's not necessarily how you're trained to act in the world. It's those ingrained biological and spiritual values that you have as a human being in this world. And a lot of times those values can be extremely different for people, right? What's important to you may not be important to somebody else. It's like, where does that come from? Yes, it can be learned along the way, but we also have stuff that's ingrained with us, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to start with the wood element, okay? And the wood element, if you've seen my video or some of my videos on the wood element, is known as, you could consider it the archetype of like the pioneer or the leader, essentially. So, a wood person, somebody who has strong wood in their constitution, in their reality, life is to be overcome. So in a wood person's reality, life is sometimes a struggle, but life is something that should be overcome and achieved, and they base a lot of importance on success and maybe money and control and being at the top of their game. On the flip side, because there are flip sides, so while these values can be more of a positive note, there's also a flip side where somebody like a wood element person could feel the need that they need to dominate or always be in control, right? Everybody is always against me. Everybody's competing with me. And that can be wood that's a little out of balance. So let's look at it this way too. So all of the elements, fire, earth, metal, water, wood, work together. Just like all of the elements work together in nature, they work together within us because we have all of them in us. So in the example of a wood person who's feeling like they need to always dominate and control other people to an extreme, it could be that, as we know, where does over-control usually stem from? It stems from the emotion of fear, which is the emotion associated with the water element. So each of the elements, you have a mother and a son-daughter element, okay? So water actually nourishes wood, and I hope I'm not confusing you here, but water nourishes wood, wood nourishes fire, fire nourishes earth, earth nourishes metal. So, water is the mother of wood. So essentially, it could be that wood needs to support water a little bit more, and this could be in areas of, because the wood person is such a doer, feels the need to constantly work, essentially. Never stops, always has to compete, get to the top. So they can help support their water by a little more self-reflection, taking more breaks throughout the day, journaling, stuff like that, little things, okay? They're not gonna be crazy with it because they're wood, but they can help support the water. So the wood is not as out of balance. So anyway, that's just a side note. Let's go back to, so let's move on to fire. So wood, like I said, is the doer. Life is to be overcome. Life can be a struggle a lot of times. They're in their reality and their filter on the world. It's like, I must achieve. I must achieve. I must always be going uphill. Okay, that is the reality that a wood person has ingrained in them. Now, if we move on to fire, you could say their life theme is life is to be lived. Okay, so it's not about achievement, it's about living right here, right now, spontaneous, in the moment, excitement. Life should be exciting, life should be passionate, I should have a lot of loving relationships in my life, all that kind of stuff. But on the flip side, for a fire element personality and their reality, they can often feel like they're not getting the love or the attention that they seek. Okay, so that could be on the other side where maybe they need to support their wood a little bit more, because fire can be scattered at times. They can be, because they're always, you know, jumping from one thing to the next in life. They feel like life has to be exciting. I need to just I need to do it now. I need to have fun now. I need to enjoy my life now. Like, I'm not thinking of the past. I'm not thinking of the future. So they can get where they're just like moving from one thing to the next, almost like ADD, hyperactive in a way. They could get anxious too, right? That's a common theme for fire types. But they can nourish the wood by planning out a schedule, right? Wood's person is very organized, planning out a schedule, setting due dates and things like that to help kind of compose all this energy that the fire person has. But fire, essentially, they think life is to just be lived, to have fun, to enjoy it, right? Not to work all the time, not to worry all the time, but to just enjoy it. And it should be exciting. It should be vibrant, right? It's like a child who's just playing. They think life should be playful. And that's the archetype of the joker and the lover, okay? So let's move on to Earth. So Earth says, in their reality, life is to find peace and grounding, stability, but peace in the world, okay? So in an Earth person's world, you know, on the flip side of finding peace, they can also feel that they need to suffer for the world and suffer for other people. And they can get into these places of being a people pleaser at times. Empaths, you could say. But the Earth person, they feel that life should be enjoyed, but in a different kind of way. Not in the fiery kind of, let's go out and party, you know, spontaneous, in the moment, I need to do it now, right? But Earth is more like, I just want everybody to get along in this world. And when I see people not getting along, I suffer from that. I feel that in my body. It weighs me down, right? So, you know, an Earth can support their mother element, fire, by, you know, because Earth people can be, they like big, comfy couch, you know, by getting out more, by socializing more. Earth likes to be around people, but more like family and close friends. They like nostalgia and that kind of stuff. Not so much like going out and partying, because they don't necessarily have the energy for it. But they can add in little like spurts of things and get them out of their element per se to help. But yeah, the Earth person is the mediator, the caretaker, the peacekeeper, right? Those are all the archetypes. So they think that they need to care for other people. That's their reality. And they feel guilty a lot of times if they feel guilty for self-care and self-love, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the reality around the Earth. Metal's reality. And metal's reality, metal says life is to have purpose and value. So, you know, metal person is not going to be like, we need to just live now, in the moment. They're looking for a little more meaning, purpose, self-worth. But on the flip side, you know, a metal person, their tint on the world is like, I have to be perfect. I have to be perfect. My life has to be in order. It goes into a form of self-control. It's a different kind of control from wood. Wood is like control other people. Metal is like I need to have control within myself. Okay, order within myself. Why you see, right, like a perfectionist. And, you know, it goes into self-esteem and self-worth when they don't feel perfect. Okay, so that's the part where maybe they need to nourish the comfort of earth a little bit more within themselves or something like that. But life is to have purpose, right? They hold high values in life, their own values, and they think other people should pay attention to those values, right? And that's kind of their tint on the world. Like the world is not just for doing, it's not just for excitement, it's for upholding certain morals and values, and, you know, life, it has a particular meaning, okay? That kind of thing. And then water says life is to be understood. And this is just like water, because water can go deep into the soul. And so water, their tint on the world is, why am I here? Okay, what am I doing here? I want to know more. I want to have more knowledge and wisdom and understand where we came from. I want to understand what's beyond this world. So they are the philosopher and the sage are the archetypes for the water. And their tint on the world is going to be the opposite of fire. That's just like, whoo, let's have fun, right? I don't want to think about anything deeper than that. I just want to enjoy my life, which is fine. But water says, no, I need to understand my life. The meaning of life, right? Do you ever have friends and stuff that are always taught, like, what is the meaning of life? Not that you have these conversations with your friends, but you have people who are really, really honing in on that kind of stuff. They're reading books on it. They really want to know. They have a quest for deeper knowledge. And then other people who don't care one bit. They're just living their life, right? They're living their life, or they're you know, in their reality, their life, their importance is on success and meeting their visions and having goals in life, right? And business and making money and being successful in life. And while on earth is like taking care of other people, having people harmonized and getting together and having everything work together and having a stable structure, right? Earth person in the world doesn't want to see war, doesn't want to see violence. Whereas a wood person says, well, we need to fight the war in order to win. Okay, so this is what I mean by different tints on the world. So I hope this gives you a little bit understanding and maybe of where you are at. Because reality, like I said, it's our inner world, how we respond to the outer environment. And kind of like, you know, what... Are we here for a reason, or are we here to just like be exciting? Like everybody has their own view on it. It's like they're putting sunglasses on and seeing it in a different way. And this is why it's hard for human beings to get together, because we're not getting each other. We're not understanding that we're all very different and we see things very, very differently based on our ingrained values, what's important to us. Okay, experiences we've had. So I hope you found this helpful, like I said, and subscribe. I put out new videos every single week for you. I've done a lot on the 5 elements stuff. Like I said, I'm going to put a bunch of links to those below so you could check those out. If you're curious what may be your stronger elements within you, in your personality, then those videos will definitely help you out and understanding yourself more. And that's why I do these videos, because I want you to, you know, the more we understand ourselves and where we're coming from and what's important to us, and the more we can live true to ourselves and not always just living for other people or living for, you know, what we think we should do in life. You know, a lot of it is just understanding how we move throughout nature. So anyway, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.